Hey man, say man, it's your boy DAALIGHT, man. Daylight TV, back at y'all with another one. And on this trip, we're gonna get into the recent outrage about where $45 million of taxpayer money is going. But first, hit that like and subscribe button, smash that notification bell if you're really mopping with the content. Daylight TV, let's get it. So there's a whole discussion on the internet about $45 million in taxpayer money possibly being spent on the U.S. Army's 250th birthday celebration. Army leaders have defended the spending on a parade in Washington, stating that it would aid in recruitment. And I ain't gonna lie, they damn sure could use it because enlistment numbers have been on a decline for the last 40 years. So far, for as long as I've been alive, people have just been like, I ain't going. Now, um, it's interesting because when you understand the type of social economic climate that usually promotes low enlistment numbers, it's things like strong economy and social equality, things like that. So as much as people complain about the economy, especially, it can't be that bad because strong economies like the one that we've had in recent years, especially, make civilian job opportunities look a hell of a lot more attractive than military service. Because I mean, if you don't really have to, who would sign up to shoot and get shot at? Nobody. If all is well on the home front, you don't really feel the urge to go out there and defend it, you know? So that means that there's been a lot of crying about nothing, possibly, you know? Weak ass niggas. Speaking of weak, there's also a shrinking pool of eligible adults, you know, combined with factors like obesity, health issues, and educational attainment, all of that has further complicated that shit. So, are we really surprised? And then, like, you couple that with the changing attitude towards the government and military service as a whole. Concerns about physical and mental health, because everybody got PTSD. People got PTSD for bullshit now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even real reasons. Like, they're just leaning on mental health or whatever for a pity party. Meanwhile, there's people out there really suffering with that shit. Then you have the lack of trust in institutions, that have also contributed to the decline. Because yeah, if the army is fighting for the country, but basically at the command of the government, and nobody trusts the government, why would anyone sign up to go and risk their life for them? Would you risk your life for a motherfucker that you don't trust? I think not. So, you know, ask yourself a question. But shit, the thing about it is, like, America is a business, right? And like, people always like to, jump on that bandwagon. America is a business, it's not a country and everything like that. But then when it's time to get down to business or whatever, they act like they don't understand what's going on. Because just like any other business that experiences a decline in company in consumer interest and confidence, they have to dig deeper into their pockets and come up with, some attractive marketing in order to win their people back and sustain themselves. Now, some Congress members and other individuals have argued that the money could be better used for other priorities, such as troop barracks and other support programs. Now, when they say troop barracks, are they talking about here in America, like to kind of help with the homeless situation that that a lot of veterans face? Or are they talking about barracks overseas so that they can keep them fighting? You know, Because the issue isn't the support that they get over there. It's the lack of support that they get when they come home. You get what I'm saying? So if they're talking about domestic support programs or whatever, like how they pulled in LA, California, but specifically LA down there where they have all the homeless people living in tents. I think they call it Tent City. It's a lot of veterans down there who are homeless. And so they said that they pulled the funding for like the migrant assistance programs or whatever and started allocating them to veteran services like temporary housing and helping them find permanent housing and so on and so forth, employment, things like that. So if that's what they're proposing or whatever, that's cool. But maybe if they would have proposed that shit in the beginning, which would have been the right thing to do, you wouldn't need to entertain the idea of spending $45 million on a damn parade to try to like win recruitment, because people would just be looking at how you treat your veterans anyway, your soldiers, and say, hey man, that don't seem like such a bad deal, And it's not like, the other crazy thing about it is people act as though, you can't afford it. Because they're looking at it like what $45 million is to them based on what's in their account. You get what I mean? Meanwhile, in the last year, the United States government has collected $5 trillion in taxpayer money and shit, right? So even if they spent the full $45 million on the parade for the men and women who actually lay their lives on the line for this country, it's only 0.0009% of the tax base. So when you have public opinion polls that suggest that 2/3 of Americans are opposed to using tax money for a military parade, with some citing how the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, under the current administration had canceled $45 million in DEI scholarships, right? So because the money got taken from DEI or whatever, you don't want the military to get their flowers unless it comes up with a folded crispy flag that gets handed to the next of kin, I guess. You know what I mean? Because it's just crazy, bro. Like, people are talking as though the whole 45 million came out of their paycheck. I'll tell you one thing. If the military enlistment keep declining, God forbid we become weak enough to invade, I bet they would rather pay for that little marketing, you know what I'm saying, and get some soldiers instead of having to learn Chinese at gunpoint. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like we haven't spent this much on a military parade before. Before all of this, 250th anniversary parade proposals and all that. The most expensive parade in recent American history was the National Victory Celebration held in 1991 following the Gulf War, costing about $12 million, which is about $28 million in today's money. So we've already actually spent more, because the 45 million is the high. The actual proposed budget was around 25 million. They just factored in like the margin of error and what more, could cost, especially the cleanup aspect of it and security. I don't know, bro. Maybe they would rather let all of the Mexicans and South Americans stay in exchange for enlisting in the military. Oh, my bad. They're kicking them all out. So now taxpayers need to ask themselves, bro, would they rather some of their money go towards recruiting some people who are wild and patriotic enough to go over there and get busy, or would they rather go over there and shoot it out themselves for their freedom? Because one way or another, we're gonna pay for this, bro. Because freedom is not free. But yeah, man, jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about all of this. And if you're still here, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that notification bell if you're really mobbing with the content. And as always, stay dangerous so you can be safe. It's your boy Daylight, Daylight TV. I'm out.